Hello and welcome back to the Remembering Tuscola webcast. I'm David Porter. I'm here with Mike Carroll. We got Alan Michener. We got Bob Taylor, or we could say we got Bob Taylor. We got Alan Michener. We got Mike Carroll. We don't have Bill today. Bill's a busy guy. We didn't have Bill last week.
No.
Where's Bill? Let's start a rumor. Bill Engelhart is missing. Nobody knows where he is.
Well, we'd clearly never seen him inside a church. We had all kinds of pictures of the old Presbyterian church where Bill belonged, and there was never any of Bill inside. So Bill submitted one where he and Greg Skinner were standing outside the church.
Yeah, I remember seeing that picture. Yeah.
Still haven't got yourself inside the picture. And then David came up with a cartoon where Bill's head sticks up out of the chimney.
So, well, he probably got married in a church.
Well, it was that church down on Pembroke, down by Stu Carmack's house. What was that? The old Lutheran church back in the 50s.
Yeah, that was a Lutheran church. Yeah.
Gerhard Frecky, or what was Mr. Frecky? I know
Yeah.
Mrs.
No, well, that was Gerhardt was the son.
Yeah, you're right, but
I can't remember what his name was.
they live
I
right.
don't know that I don't know that I remembered him. I remember Mrs. Frecky.
Yes.
She lived to be ripe old age here and lived here in town for years. And
Gerhard wound up being, one of those. He was chairman of the Kennedy Art Center. He was CEO of New England Telephone Telegraph. He was wildly. He's like Carl Court, one of those guys that just went to the top.
yes, he did. He was a class. I think he was a class of 49. He was in the class, my sister's class, and
I
along with McCarty and
My class really had some heavyweight folks in them.
he had a
Cookie Waters for sports, and
Gerhard owned a couple of condos down at Fort Myers Beach. My mom and dad rented from him for 4 or 5 years down there, and he had built a new house down at Naples. Invited them to come down and for dinner one night, and my dad was just blown away. He said, "The place was just unbelievable." And he said, and then his yacht was just outside the backyard where he could just walk out and get on his yacht. And,
yeah, just think his wife was Herschel Ellis's daughter.
right. Yes.
That's a long way from
Wow.
Herschel's,
Long way from Herschel.
long way from Herschel.
Yeah.
But Doug went down to see him after his house was built probably a few months ago. Doug McCumber told me that he had been offered double the amount of money. I think it was 2 million back then to build it, and he'd been offered 4 million within a month. He said, "No, would it be nice to have enough money you could just turn down?"
Gee.
Yeah.
I can't hold the stock more than a week if I can make a buck off of it. Because you're supposed to ride them. I know it's up and we'll sell it.
Before we get too carried away, we did a special webcast yesterday on the 50th anniversary of women's sports in Tuscola, girls sports at the high school, and had on Marcy Shoemaker and Joe Huber and Turtle Meyer and uh, Dee Lindsay was there. Um, so if you get a chance, check that out. Talks about homecoming and the festivities coming up with that, and um, so I thought it turned out pretty well. So check
So
that
you'll
out.
be so if the people want to see that, they go to the Remembering Tuscola site on YouTube if you posted it there.
Yeah, it's on the same YouTube channel that this show is. It's also on the Remembering Tuscola Facebook page, County Chronicle Facebook page. It's also on the Tuscola Review and Journal Facebook pages.
Okay.
We still run those. We don't check them every day, but we still run those pages because there's so many people connected to them that have not moved over to the new one. So, so what's going on before we see pictures? Anything we need to
Well, Mitch, do
talk about?
you want to give the news you released, or you want to let that set for a while?
Well, I just you mean in regards to the
Coffee talk with.
yeah, the coffee talk this morning was and this there was a article posted by the doctor who's the president of the Parkland College. She had posted a thing that says that and I think the company name was called Fufing, but they were interested in buying the Lindale property and converting it to a corn processing plant, which was from my understanding, was to remove an enzyme from corn, and then that product would then be passed on to other companies who produced livestock and animal feed, and it was to. But anyway, the point of it is they are no longer interested in doing that. And this was posted by the gal who was the president of Parkland College. I had heard that story a couple of days ago, and I really couldn't verify it, but I would say this is pretty.
Yeah, we'll be looking into that, and we'll see what we can come up with.
Right.
With the newspaper.
It just, her article basically just said that they were no longer pursuing doing that. So, which I think is really, my opinion, is sort of too bad, because that property out there we all know is pretty contaminated, and this would have been something that it could have been used for, and plus not only that, I think it would have benefited our local area farmers, because they would be able to. I don't know if they were going to take the corn direct or if they were buying it through another source, but it would allow another outlet for local farmers to sell their crop, and in some cases, I don't think the corn, it did not have to be dried down to a certain dryness temperature. They would take what they referred to as wet corn, and that way it would have been an advantage to me. It would have been an advantage to the local farmers, as well as a good use of the property that's probably going to just sit there and do nothing.
Not going to build any houses on it.
No.
And probably not going to farm it.
Nope, I'd say so.
So,
a good UFO storage site.
Yeah.
UFO storage.
Well, what an excellent site for a solar farm. If that's instead of using up the farm ground, why not utilize a site like that for a solar farm? I mean, that'd be
or immigration detention.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
I'm joking. So
I know you are.
I'm going to start announcing whenever I'm trying to be funny.
Yeah, I am too. So
the bad thing about that is when you say, "Hey, now this is going to be funny," and then you say it, nobody laughs. So I don't have those kind of intro comments. Well, good.
Well,
I didn't
I
know
don't
that.
think we're at risk of getting canceled, but I suppose anything could happen. I mean, I could get canceled. I do have a wife. Yeah,
She could tell you
cancel
you're
me.
out.
Yeah, she could take me out in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
So,
Well, we're all walking on eggshells after Jimmy Kimmel. I'm just going to stick to local issues.
That's right.
I'm being funny.
yeah, I got it. I got it.
They've got it. They've got it. I wish during my whole life I'd walked on eggshells, but I never.
Like you have the ability to stick to anything.
I was ADHD in high school and grade school, and the only reason I've slowed down is because I'm just so damn old and tired.
What they call it back then? They didn't have that term.
Hyper, just a hyper kid. My mom said, "Well, you're just full of youthful energy, got to beat it out, ornery." But I remember probably maybe third, fourth grade, I was back there just reading the book out loud, and the teacher comes back and says, "Mike, would you mind not reading out loud? Everybody else is trying to learn, I didn't know what I was doing. I just a kid. Kids have a lot of energy.
Well, you don't want to admit to being ADHD. They'll want to put you in a mental institute.
Yeah.
It's
been talk.
Yeah. Well, it might not be a bad idea.
I did I had another visiting nurse thing this week or last week, and they do that mental test, memory test, ball, bat, blue, and I wrote an article about that. Funny, funny article. And I asked her, I said, you gonna give me those magic words? She said, no, we don't do that anymore. We give you more of a cognitive test. And I said, oh, what's that? And they'll show you, it's on an iPad, and they'll show you if they're like a star and a baseball. And there may be 20 objects, but they'll show you two of them. And they'll say, are these alike or disalike numerically? And you look down at the bottom, there's about all 20 items. They have a number assigned to them, like two for a star, three for baseball. Well, in that case, they're not equal because the numbers don't match. But if they're both twos, they're equal. And then they flip symbols, and you've got to speed wise look at them and find them and make determinations. So we got to the very end, and she said, good, you scored a perfect score on the test. I said, what test?
There's a show on TV. I'm not sure what channel it is. It just pops up on our, but we watch it. It's called the Idiot Test,
Mhm.
and it's brain teasers. People compete, and we try to guess the answers before the contestants.
Well, here's the idiot IQ test. How many fingers do you see? Okay. I'm going to mix them all up. Now, which ones did you pick? Mix them all up again. Which ones? Some jokes work, some don't.
Yeah, I didn't get that one.
Yeah, I didn't get it either.
Well, pick a finger.
Pick a
Okay.
finger.
Uh,
I'm going to try to pick a finger. Got it? Don't tell me. I
okay.
want to mix them all up. Which one did you pick? Still
The,
not.
the ring finger.
Well, the joke is mix
Well,
them
what's the joke? Oh, it's mixing. Oh, okay.
The jokes is mixing them all up.
I
Yeah.
see. I see.
I finally
Oh,
got it. Dave, you and I are pretty slow there.
I'm pretty
I'm not
slow.
getting it.
Oh, I got one for you. What number am I thinking of?
7.
No,
3.
no,
9.
no. I actually wasn't thinking of a number at all.
That was my joke.
All right. We ready to look at some pictures?
Good idea.
I think we picked up a huge swath of comedy lovers in that
Yeah,
last.
I think half our audience is already gone.
I think they are too. I think they
Good,
are.
good. Now when we make mistakes, nobody will know it. Becky Alexander.
Yeah, and I think this.
Greg Porter in the background.
Yeah,
That's
Yeah.
my brother. Yeah, that's my brother Greg.
I think that might be Becky's daughter there to the left of her.
And Jody.
This is
I think
Jody.
so.
Yeah.
But I didn't know the other lady on the other side of Becky.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm looking through the comments. I don't see another name for her. But this is, oh, I just looked at the envelope. The date on this one was November 2nd, 1981. So Greg's wearing a Tuscola football shirt. This same group has a picture of Joe Farlow later, who's in my class, also wearing the same shirt. Well, looks the same. It's not actually technically the same because they're, one's wearing one shirt, one's wearing another shirt. But I had to explain that for Mike.
Yeah, I wondered how you were doing that. Yeah.
So
Rudy Bergner in the background.
Yeah. Margaret Meyer there on the left.
Where?
Isn't that Jim Hunt's wife in the middle?
Yeah, Sharon.
Sharon Hunt.
Is that Rick Smith in the plaid shirt?
that's what Cheryl Huffman says.
Rick Smith. I don't remember him.
So I think that's well, let's see. Down here with her head showing. Anyone know who that is?
Ann Albin. And
Mm-mm.
No. One person says maybe thinks Susan Schultz Jacob.
Well, she'd be a sister to Sharon Hunt.
Let me see what other comments I got. Pretty much what you guys said.
Mhm.
I thought that looked like Wayne Meyer there
Yeah, that's what I
Yeah,
thought
that's
it
what I
is too.
thought
behind Sharon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Buck was the class of 49. You talking about guys from 49. He was the most valuable football player on that great
Yes,
undefeated.
he was. Yes, he was on that.
Corky was the quarterback. Yes, Bill Burris one time. I said, Bill, I've called Corky maybe one of the greatest all-time athletes and great football player, yet Buck was most valuable. He goes, oh, he said, people got Corky had bossed people around. He said they wouldn't vote for him.
Hmm.
He was a fierce competitor.
Yeah. That's Jack Leniger. Jack Leniger there in the
Yep.
the adult anyway.
Well, that's
That's
Jeff.
his boy Jeff in the black jacket. Yeah.
Here.
They move up to some weather up north. Where'd they go to? They do
I don't know for sure.
Marseilles, is that the name of it?
Yeah, I think that's right.
Yeah.
I think Jack's wife died. I think Jackie died.
Did not know that.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I think I saw something a while back where she passed away. She worked next. The reason I even knew, well, Jack used to be a sales rep for a millwork company out of Peoria, Illinois, that used to call on me at the lumberyard, and then Jackie worked next door at the elevator. That's how I knew him.
Jack was an interesting, fun guy to talk to.
Yeah, he was different.
Yeah.
I like Jack. He was friendly. Over here on the left, that's Phil Jacobs. And someone said they thinks this is Tim Bories back here.
Yeah.
Could be.
That looks like Bobby Slaughter there in the background behind Jack's head.
Who's the guy we should know right behind?
This is, I believe, Richard Wrench. Doesn't that look like
Looks
Bobby
like Bill
Slaughter
Henry.
back there?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think so.
The guy on the left. On the
I don't
other
know I don't know who this
Bill
is.
Henry. I don't think it
It
is.
looks like Bill Hemmer, but it's not him. He wouldn't have
side.
been here.
I thought it looked like Bill Cameron. I don't know if he was here. He wasn't here then, I don't think.
I don't think so.
Don't know.
There's Wrench, I think, with the dark glasses. Isn't that
Yeah.
Wrench? Played tackle.
Basically same scene, but this one has the Brookinses in the background. Carroll and,
Yeah, Carroll.
and Jackie.
Yep.
And there's Bobby again back there in the back.
Yeah.
And Tim Bories, Jeff Leninger.
Marlene Harris
Yeah, sitting there standing right.
right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know who that is?
Looks like Bang.
Blow that up a little bit there around where Marlene Harris is, who that guy is right behind her.
You think that's the Fang? I don't think.
Doesn't look like it to
No,
me.
I don't know who that
No.
is.
Not now. Who's the guy with his back to us?
I don't know.
I don't either.
There's Joe Farlow over here in the Warrior shirt.
Where do you think this was taken? Where was
This is the
picture taken?
cafeteria at the high school.
Okay.
What is
yeah,
now the
I
old
see it.
cafeteria.
I see it now. Yeah, yeah.
And there's Marlene again. And that's Wayne Meyer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Back in the days when we had to eat meat, we ate there every noon. We didn't go
Yes.
out Mickey D's or some other place.
Right.
Well, you didn't have Mickey D's.
No.
I know why we didn't go to it.
Yeah.
Dairy Queen might have been here at the time, though.
Yeah, but nobody. I don't think anybody left except a couple guys that had girlfriends left
I remember doing that.
with wheels. Yeah, I saw you guys leave with your girlfriends. I thought, what are they doing?
Yeah. Yeah.
Was the girl cooking for them?
Yeah, they were cooking for us. Yeah.
That might be the Fang right there. I don't know. Bangle on the left. I don't know.
Could
No,
be.
I don't
Yeah,
think
he
so.
wouldn't have been there then, would he?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Was
probably.
it's 80,
Yeah, because he was there my freshman year.
yeah,
he? Okay.
early 80s were his heyday.
Looks a little thin to be him, but it could be him.
He was a pretty strong guy, but he's tall. That looks taller than Wayne. That could be Bill. There they go. There's Toppy,
Dee
his daughter.
Yeah, Dee Dee. Is that Johnny?
That looks like Johnny Huber.
Yeah,
Let me
your
see.
sister. That's her sister, I think.
You think it's Johnny's sister?
Yeah, I think Johnny was about what? She was like 74, 5.
Sandra Becker says Andy and Dee Dee,
Andy and
Okay. All
class
right.
of
So it is Andy.
77.
Yeah.
but this is 81.
Yeah, yeah. Andrea Huber says Dee Dee and me, sophomore year, she thinks. Would it have been sophomore year? Well, this may not be from the same envelope. So this is,
Well, it could also be this 81, 82 thing. I mean, it's like,
I think it may be earlier than that because Andrea's, I think, a little older than me. A
well,
little more than if a sophomore, if this was
81.
81,
She'd be a senior in the picture.
yeah, I would be a freshman, and she's a little bit older than that, I think. Good picture though. I didn't know what this was. I got
The house I
got any
restored.
comments on it, but I've got 3 pictures. It looks like something burned.
This is a house I restored on Ficklin Street.
Yeah. That wasn't been over at Villa Grove, but that I didn't
Good
think that
man.
would.
We do have
There's
some pictures that are not Tuscola, but
well, there was a big fire over there. That area that's just north of that JR's was a building in there that I think burnt or they tore down or something. But this picture is probably, I don't think it'd been that long ago. I mean, that was done probably in the maybe 90s, and
When did the second story of the old pharmacy burn? Was that in the 70s?
yeah, 70, I think 74.
well, 74, I would have been 9 years old, but I don't remember it.
Well, that was when the Masonic Lodge,
Yeah.
the second story above the pharmacy and above that beauty shop and above Farm Bureau and all that. But that's possible. That's what that could have been.
Well,
It looks like a grain elevator in the back, and do you recognize the roof line here of any building?
could that have been the where senior citizen parking lot is?
Well, that's possible. They had a fire there because that's where I remember, and that happened right before I moved back here.
Yeah, that was Riley's pool hall back in the 60s and 50s.
Mm.
Lem Riley.
No one has
Yeah.
said many comments on Facebook, so I don't know.
Well, what you noticed there about the elevator in the background, that would make sense.
Look through the windows there. That looks like that little one-story brick thing across the street from it.
Yeah.
I thought you guys might be able to tell me what this is. Of course, it got Four Seasons in the background, but Hannigan for King.
Well, that's who Jim Edgar beat for governor, wasn't it?
I don't remember that.
First, I thought this was a bullet hole in the stop sign, but it looks like a sticker of some
The
sort.
sticker looks like almost like a warrior sticker. No,
Scouts. What does that say? Scouts? Girl Scouts or something? Let me see who Edgar beat. Neil Hartigan. I'm thinking of Hartigan. That's Hannigan.
that's just Hannigan.
Yeah.
The only Hannigan that I ever knew was Gordon Hannigan had the place up there at Penfield.
So I didn't know if this was a local joke or if this was a national political joke.
Well, I had some of those printed up for myself, but I never really put them out.
Yeah,
No,
for King.
Well, I thought that was a little over the top.
So I've got a lot of comments on this picture. Andrea Huber says, our award-winning speech team.
Well, there's a Kalmar in the middle, and there's a Kim McCarthy, second row Kim McCarthy, and Allison Hancock. Left to right. Not Huber, Kalmar, Dee Dee Moody. Another Kalmar in the front row in the middle. And Graham. Are we froze up?
No,
no.
we're just all looking at the picture.
Now, actually, I'm looking up about that Hannigan for King thing,
Okay.
and it says AI says it's as a search query, likely referring to Curtis King Curtis, a custom motorcycle builder and personality, part of Hannigan Motorsports.
Yeah, well, I just looked up who Edgar ran against. It was Neil Hardigan.
Right.
Right. Carolyn Meadows Eaton says, I see Jeff Eaton. Chrissy Townsend says, tags David McCrory, Terry Kronig, Karen Scala, Kathy Fry, Jeff Eaton, far right, Gene Meyer Kahn. I thought there was another. Oh, Danny Matthews says Terry Mulligan, Virgil Watts in the tie in the back.
Yeah, Terry's to the right of him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, was that front row, is that second one in Joanne Graham then? Or is that Reinhardt? I always get
Looks like Pam Reinhardt.
Pam Reinhardt. Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah, Kevin Connor says Pam Reinhardt.
Rick's sister, Terry's sister.
So about what year would this be in the 70s probably?
Yeah, Kim McCarty and Allison Hancock, I'm thinking they were right about there with Gordy Cross. Was it 76?
Well, I wondered if this on the top left was Gordy.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, I think it is.
Well, Gordy graduated 76 or 7, so he looks like he maybe is a freshman or sophomore up there. I don't know. 70, yeah, they look like 74, 75.
I'm probably wrong, but I thought this one over here looked like Lynn.
I thought it was Dee Dee Moody.
Oh, it could be. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, these are all older than me. So I would have been in junior high.
They're all younger than me. I know that because I don't. Now I can give you all those.
Yeah.
Oh boy, this is Corn Belt Savings and Loan.
Yeah, it was. Both the Caldwell brothers and Doc Lossman and Bill Skinner.
Bob and Mitch, I came back from the Army in 73 and wanted to buy the Bailey house down there where Tim Hole lives.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
$10,500. And so I applied it. Of course, Joe's dad, Bob, I've known him all my life, and Clyde, they're wonderful guys. And I applied for a loan, and Clyde took me in the back room and started saying, okay, now how much do you make? I said, well, I'm going back to law school. He goes, oh, how much your wife make? I said, well, she's going back to school. Well, how much money you got in the bank? I said, I got probably $80. He said, good Lord, Mike. He said, don't you have anything? I said, well, we will in a couple of years. I said, am I not going to get the loan? He said, oh, no, your loan was approved last night.
Well, that's pretty good.
It was a character loan with L.H. Mann and Gene Maloney and those guys.
Yeah. Yeah.
off of the
Yeah, I
earth.
know. Shirley and I got a loan there when we bought our first place. And heck, we didn't have anything coming out of the service.
Yeah.
And they said, well, we know Paul and Ruby and Quentin and Catherine. I think you'll be okay.
They made character loans. If
Yes,
you,
they did.
you and your family are good character, they made the loan. And you go to make your mortgage payment, and I'm paying on
Yeah.
$10,500 at about 2%. So it's like $80 a month or 60. Bob Caldwell would enter that manually in the book. He'd figure up
Yes.
to that day the interest and then show you remaining principal to the debt.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yeah.
I still got my book.
Yeah.
Ray and Kay.
Ray and Kay.
Kingery.
It looks like somebody shot up their window.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'd say they did. Yeah.
Sold him a bad radiator hose.
Yeah.
It's they got bullet holes all over that window. That's more than a BB, it looks like.
Yeah, I'd
I
say
would
so.
Yeah, I'd say it is.
And it's not a shotgun blast.
No.
That's looks like a rifle of some sort.
That may have been when I was first state's attorney. When I was first year state's attorney, they burned down Van Steenhouse's house. They cut all the tires on the police cars. They shot the windows out of the bank and a bunch of businesses. This might be right around that time, 76.
Bunch of hooligans.
Well, that's
Old Miles.
Joyce's dad.
Yeah.
Why did Joyce died early? What did she die of, guys? I forget. She died pretty young.
She did die fairly young, but I don't know for sure. Didn't know that.
I don't have any names on this one.
No.
I originally thought it was my wife, but it's not. I don't know.
I wasn't going to say anything, Mitch, but I didn't think you had a girl.
No, I didn't have any girls, so
Yeah, blow that one up.
A lot of these pictures were 35 millimeter, and they just don't scan very well. But I included this one because I recognized Frederick over here on the right.
He was a 1965 Oakland graduate. We played, Bob and I played football against.
Yeah.
He was
that
a
is.
Yeah.
he was a
Yeah.
fullback. He was the halfback. That's the freshman sophomore squad.
Steve Laley says center back row is Bob Laley.
Mhm. Randy Hastings is probably in that photo somewhere.
Well, it's not a great scan.
No.
I don't recognize anybody in there.
Well,
They're just freshmen. And it's about long hair time. It's probably in the
Yes.
early.
This looks like maybe a 78 on his, and those would you get those numbers when you're a freshman.
that's true.
74. That'd be about Randy's. I think that's 1, 2, 3. Fourth one in from the top left might be Randy. He had longish blondish hair.
Randy
Hastings.
Hastings.
Yeah, he played. Probably Gordy
Yeah,
Cross.
looks a little heavy for him.
Gordy Cross is probably in there. Mark Maxey's in there somewhere.
I can't see anything.
Gordy would be class of 77.
76, 77.
Because he's in my brother's class, Pete.
Yeah, that.
Harold
Harold
Todd.
Todd, yeah. He lives you then. He used to live right next door to your house.
No, not next door. He lives where Linda Dunning lives.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, you got a block away from.
Yeah.
Whose house was it that what you refer to as the Buck House?
Next door.
Yeah.
Well, next door to me now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wasn't that guy? Who was it? They call that. I thought they used to call that the Todd House.
No. Warren.
Oh, that's right. H. Ray Warren House. Yeah, yeah. Well, there's
Like Kyle in the middle.
Don Belts on the left and Wayne Dowd on the right.
Sure is.
Well, Tim Holt said Steve Kyle in the middle.
No,
Oh,
that's
That's
Mike.
Mike.
That's
Mike.
Mike Kyle.
Graduated my sister's class of 63, married Mary Ann Parrish, who lived on
Okay, there
Sunset,
you
Yeah.
Sunset Drive next to Jim Bailey and L.H. Mann.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mike sang at our wedding.
Great singer. He's over in
Yes.
Decatur. I think he and Mary Ann are still together, and he's a great singer at weddings and everything. Nice
Yeah.
guy.
Yes.
Yes. Very nice.
He was almost too nice to play football.
Yeah.
Didn't want to hurt anybody.
Well, I don't know the boys, but I know the middle guy is Wayne Dowd again.
Is that the Moody kid, Fred's brother?
Jack?
Jack wore long hair, went on the football field with that long hair flapping in the. I don't know. Looks
I don't
like
know.
The one on the left is Dean Bories,
yeah, looks like a Boris.
Okay.
and the other one is Kevin Burke.
Oh,
No,
really?
yeah.
Was he the runner? Was he the one that became All-American runner
Yeah.
in college at Eastern?
Yep. That'd be him.
Yeah. Okay.
He is styling, isn't he?
Yeah, he is.
I hate to tell him that black bow tie doesn't go with a shirt and pants.
Mm,
That bow tie doesn't go with anything.
mm.
This is a little blurry.
Well,
Well, I can tell you
Ross.
that Gaylor Grubb Ross, and then Mrs. Ross,
And
her mother-in-law.
Katrina
and then-
Ross.
Then there's two other girls, two of
That's the
her
daughter.
daughters. I
That's
don't know.
Katrina. And the who was the younger one? Graduated in '85. Her younger sister.
Susan, was her name Susan?
Susanna, but she was
Susanna.
in Rob's class, I think. Wasn't she?
Wasn't she about 85?
Rob graduated 89, 88.
Okay.
So,
Eric
How about the
Alexander. I'm sorry.
Who are the two kids on the front? Anybody recognize them?
Well, Eric Alexander has got Chris Beachy, Katrina Ross, Mary Ross, Gayla Ross, Kyle Beachy, and Laura Berg.
Oh, okay.
doesn't look like Lori Bird that I know.
Mm-mm.
But Christine Beachy Kearns says he got us all right.
Mm-mm.
Who was the so the next to Katrina is Beachy.
Yeah.
Chris
this-
Beachy,
It's
yeah.
a Methodist church photo then.
Well,
Could be.
Yeah, could be.
They're all Methodists.
yeah, I'm not sure what the event is. I was trying to figure out the building. Was this?
I think it looks like the inside of the old Methodist church.
Basement.
It might have been though, because they sort of had some things covered up with those screens like that in the basement.
Right.
So it could be the basement of the old Methodist church.
There's Lester Hall.
Yeah.
The only names I got besides Les, Eric says Kendra Freeman back left, Derek Duzan front left.
The guy on the left is, don't you?
Yeah, Carso.
Jim
Sure.
Carso.
Yeah.
And the boy in the sweater, they have big cattle people out west of town.
Easton.
Easton, yeah, that's it.
Yes, Denny Easton. Leroy Ron on the right.
He's one of the
Yeah.
Leroy's down at the courthouse, isn't he?
Yeah, he was when I was judge. I felt safe with Leroy down there. He's a big hunk of a man.
Yeah.
Still raises cattle down at Hugo area, and just a great guy.
Yeah, nice guy.
Well, that looks like
Katrina.
That's Katrina, but I don't know the other person.
I don't either. I don't have any names. Now this one, I wondered if you guys knew anything about. I haven't got any comments. We got some interior pictures and this exterior picture.
well, it's Newman. and
I gotta believe it's down at Oakland.
I thought it was Newman, and I
Well,
thought
you might be.
the guy would later on. He actually made knives and stuff in there. metal forge guy, but I could be wrong. Brushy Fork. Newman likes to claim Brushy Forks as theirs. In fact, Eddie Allen wrote a book about Brushy Fork.
Well,
Down,
that would be true because that's the Brushy Fork River that runs there right
right,
behind their baseball field.
right, and it goes and it floods their baseball field, floods their
Yeah.
nursing home, but it flows on the actual Brushy Fork's about another 2 miles south, and that's where they got the Negro Cemetery.
Yes. Yeah, that's right.
Not a little. It's kind of like their chicken bristle.
Yeah.
I
I'm
spent a
getting.
lot of time in Newman as a kid because my dad had rental properties over there. And every time it rained, that town was covered with toads.
But I'm
I
guessing.
remember,
I'm guessing
I
that's more Newman than Oakland.
remember kids playing baseball over there at Newman, and the big deal was to be able to hit one over the fence and into the river.
Yes. Yes. You know, there was a. I got. Can I tell you? I got to tell you one little Newman story. Uh, so I was city attorney for Newman for about 15 years, and Jim Allen was the mayor, and he brought Recontact. He was fixing the streets. He was doing a great job, and then he got beat by a guy who had no political experience, and I was kind of shocked. It just didn't make any sense. Jim was doing all the right things, and a newcomer with no pedigree beat him. So I asked some of the Newman people. I said, "What happened?" He said, "Well," he said, "Jim's softball team beat everybody." And he said, everybody just thought it was time for him to get a comeuppance. I said, softball? They said, yeah. I said, you're trading your town's future based on, based on the fact he's dominated softball for 10 years? Small towns think funny.
I got I got to talk about Newman a little bit. My dad he'd buy houses that should have been bulldozed and he'd fix them up, but he was colorblind. So every house he fixed up was white with black trim because that's what looked good to him.
Yeah.
And but it's kind of a lesson in urban renewal in that when we would go in and fix up a house, pretty soon you notice three other people fixing up their houses. Because nobody wants to have the worst house on the block, I guess.
That's right.
And you make a little improvement, it kind of inspires people.
I think they're trying to make some improvements over there in the downtown area. I saw, well, it was just a thing on WCA, I think, about Newman, and they're talking about some of the buildings. And I took a concealed carry class over there in one of the Alvin buildings that's downtown. It was very nice on the inside.
Well, they've got some real strong, loyal people. A lot of the old rich guard is kind of dying off, but Newman's got some money. If they, there's some wealthy people over there that could make it up.
We spent the whole summer there in 1974. Dad bought two houses side by side, and we just moved into those two houses. Mom and Dad stayed in one house, and the kids stayed in the other, and fixed them up. And the little house, what we call the little house, we put in a new furnace system, had to run ductwork under the house, and I was the only one small enough to get under the house, and I'd have to get between two floor joists if I wanted to roll over. And I'm down there with a pop rivet gun and a drill, and those pop rivet guns are wide handled pliers, and I was 9 years old putting in that ductwork, and I had to use two hands on the pliers to work them because my hand wasn't big enough to get around the pliers.
Yeah.
We grew up, 402 North Niles was a house they moved on as and it was basically almost on dirt. The floor girders were touching the dirt, but I had to go down as a young kid when the pipes froze. And I have claustrophobia, and I'm telling you, buddy, there's no lights in there, and you're crawling back, trying to wrap pipes and with a hairdryer or whatever. Plumbing is a job I never aspired to.
I tell you, the guy that was, you talk about plumbers, Frank Wilhelm had a guy by the name of Donnie Beck work for him.
Camargo guy.
Margo, yeah. Well, Donnie wasn't a very big guy, and he could actually squeeze through an 8x16 block.
Yeah.
So they would have to take the vent out or something, and then he could actually squeeze through an
Hmm.
8, but then that I'm telling you that's not very big.
You know,
Oh.
when I think there's three things that give me the willies being hyper is number one, doing what Beck did. Number two is going inside these mountain caves and crawling through holes that you're about ready to get stuck.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
the other one was the Vietnam, those tunnel guys they lowered down with a rope on their ankles. I just don't see how anybody could do that.
I can't. I'm like you, Mike. I couldn't either.
I think Roger Kelly did it, and I think Craig Sanderson might have done it too, Deaver.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
I'd just soon put the gun up to my head as they start lowering.
Well, for me, it wouldn't have been the tight squeeze that would scare me. It would be the getting shot at part that would be a problem for me.
Well, that was also a consideration. Yeah.
You mentioned that
There's the guy who was at the Brushy Fork. That's the
yeah.
guy who made knives and stuff. Expensive knives for people. I mean, he did a good job. I don't know his name. I remember they ran articles on him years ago, decades ago.
I didn't run all the pictures that I had, but there were a few that showed the inside. Interesting decor.
So we don't really know where that was.
That's Newman.
You think it's
my, my things is Newman.
Yeah, that was the guy. Yeah, they wrote him up and everything. And I almost went over and wanted to buy one of his knives, one of his Damascus knives, where you keep folding the metal over and over.
Right.
Pattern, but I never made it. And there's
That's Easton.
Easton.
Yeah, Easton. And then you're Leroy again.
The front left to me looks like Carl Bauer.
Could be.
They were also Methodists, I believe, weren't they, Bob? Or Mitch?
No, Bowers were Catholic. They were Catholic.
You bought his house, Mitch.
Pardon?
You bought his house, didn't you, Mitch?
Yeah, from Bill and Carroll. Yeah.
And that in the middle there might be his younger brother.
Well, could be. They were older than my kids, but my oldest boy used to play with I think if that's who that is, the middle boy, and I think his name was Mike.
Yeah, I want to say Mike.
Yeah, but they would play, but they at that time they were living in what was referred to as the Baldwin house, the big brick house there on the corner, right across from where you live, Mike.
Right.
Yeah, my sister cleaned for them when she was in high school.
Yeah, nice people. Well, that's Carol Weimer on the right, isn't it?
I can't tell. Not a very good scan.
These are 35 millimeters.
Yeah.
Hey, Dave, if they had a full frame 35, would it be a lot better if you're 100%, if they captured what they used to call full frame 35 millimeters, would that be a better shot?
Yeah, I'm not sure I understand the question, but a 35 millimeter negative is pretty small. It would be better if I could make prints and then scan the prints, but it would be cost prohibitive. You got to have a dark room, you got to have the chemicals, you got to have the paper. It would just cost a lot of money today to
There's
do.
no way to increase the pixel dots. I mean,
I've got a little device, Dave, that converts slides into digital.
Yeah.
I don't know if that would help you or not, but you're not slides, you're talking about negatives.
Well, negatives and slides are the same size.
Okay, well, this little thing, you just put your slide in there and it would convert it and then save it to like a flash drive. And it converts it from that into digital photo.
A lot depends on the holder because the slides are encased in a paper cardboard thing, and so they're individuals, whereas these are strips of negatives.
Right.
No comments on this one yet.
No.
Oops.
Who's that gal on the right? Looks familiar. That's
I don't know.
Hmm.
Well, I think we've had this one before, and we may have had a print that we scanned because it was probably better than this one. But through this instance, it's got Bill, and Bill's not here to see it. But
I wish Bill could have been in that girls' sports program because he was the first. No, I don't know if he was the first, but I remember he was when they started having girls' basketball. He was the coach back then.
and that's Beth Pugh behind him.
Yeah, he's a huge fan. He
And
really knows.
this is I believe this is Lori Hill in my class.
Yes.
From the back, kind of looks like Kim Miller, Kim Kidwell.
32, I think, is Susan Harris.
Yeah, she was the horse in the middle.
And this over here sitting looks like Barb Cavanell, who was my freshman homecoming date.
I've read about that.
Yeah. Yeah, it went over so well.
Yeah.
She had to be talked into it.
Well, who was the if Ingo wasn't the first girls basketball coach, who do you think was?
Well, there was a gal with a name, and I can't remember her first name, but her last name was Stevenson.
Well, yeah, Miss Stevenson was my grade school PE teacher. I think she was probably the first girls basketball
I know
coach.
she was the one that coached Judy, and
Okay.
that was one of the first teams.
And yeah, if I think of it, I've got a picture I can show later.
Tractor pull contest.
Yeah. Who's the woman on the right?
That's Joan Little, isn't it?
No,
Well, I first I thought it was, but I don't think it is. That's not Helen Dallas, is it?
yeah, it's Helen Dallas.
Dave's cousin or man.
Yeah.
Well, I always refer to her as Aunt Helen, but I think she was married to my mother's cousin.
Jim.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jim and Rudy and Chris. I mean, Helen and Rudy and Chris.
Because Jim was not my uncle, but he's related, but wasn't my uncle.
Yeah. He that early on he was big into the tractor pulling.
How expensive a hobby is tractor pulling?
Big money now.
Yeah, I mean they really tweak them up.
I don't think it was cheap back then.
No, it wasn't, but it's just really big time now. I
Yeah.
don't know if Littles are even in the game anymore. They used to be.
Lance did it for a long time. May still do it.
Yeah.
I know Chris Little here on the left eventually bought my grandpa's old tractors.
Yeah.
We had a John Deere. I don't remember now if it was an A or a B, and then we had an Oliver. And then of course you got Rudy here in the middle, Rudy Huber.
I think Chris was really the builder. Lance was the driver all the time, but I think Chris was the builder of the tractors, and I think he built for other tractor pullers too.
Well, based on those plaques they give them, there ought to be a lot of these Illinois clocks around somewhere.
Yeah. Laverne Anderson is the first person on the left, and Scarlett Bergner.
Right.
And I bet this next one looks like Russell.
Patty Russell.
Patty Russell. Yeah. And then the one on the right, that's Pickett, Mrs. Pickett.
Doris Pickett.
And then the others I can't recognize.
Amy Seibel says maybe Mrs. Teeter's in the back right. That looks like.
Yeah, it could have been Helen Teeters. Yeah.
Not sure about this one. Although, could that be Elaine Bryant?
Too tall for Elaine, isn't it? She's been there. She was there probably during that time because Laverne Anderson hadn't been around for a long time.
Most of these were teachers when I was in grade school.
Yeah.
I had Mrs. Russell for homeroom, and Doris was my first grade teacher.
Okay. Huh. Bill know that one. wouldn't he, on the left? And maybe not.
I think these are maybe Arcola people.
Okay, well, I first thought that one on the left was Andrea.
The one in the middle used to sell real estate with Stortsom, Minnie
Oh yeah, yeah.
Stortsom.
Winnie
Winnie Stortsom.
Uh, Sandy Arthur says that's her on the left.
Okay.
It does kind of look like Andre a little bit, doesn't it?
Well, I thought it did, but it's yeah.
I don't think she ever had that short hair. T. Janine Garrett.
T. Janine, yeah. Boy, that's a long time ago picture.
It is a long time ago.
Probably when she first started in practice. I had this is the only picture I posted because they weren't good scans, but this was hypnotism, and that looks like Scott Hines on the left.
Well, some of them have looser. That 1, 2, 3, 4, fifth one in looks like he's got no shoulder joints. It's like a guy behind him sticking arms up.
Yeah.
Talk about limber.
I don't know any of them.
Is that little one? Is that Mark Cordy?
Could be.
Could be. This kind of looks like Scott Harson next to him.
Yeah, look, the other guy's got. I'll tell you what, they get about 80 years old, they won't be able to do that.
Now these are probably like DAR or SAR. A lot of these are out of town.
It's like Arthur.
Pam Ferguson says Pam Nolan and David Butler from Arcola. And behind David is his mother, Alice Motley Butler.
Yeah.
Larry and Sharon Allen and
Surely.
Dee Dee.
Indeed, yeah. Point for Bob.
Point for Bob.
Dee Dee married a guy from Willow Grove, Jason Eversole. Nicest guy you'd ever want to meet. He was a policeman on the U of I police force.
Is he a son to Lee Eversole?
Yep. In fact, his dad ran the Sinclair station there, Willow Grove.
Lee did?
Yeah.
I remember him. It seemed to me like he was into Belgian horses.
Who was Garrett? Garrett Eversole was the head of the Democratic Party back in '76. I ran for state senator. Is Garrett relation to him?
No.
Okay.
Well, if it's Eversole, you can bet they're related.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That Craig's first wife working at the Review.
I don't know, but I don't think so. This is Cherie Hap Denning. It is at the Review.
Well, she worked there for a while, had long dark hair, and
It could be.
nice gal, Bob, and Bev kept her on for quite a while.
And I didn't have any names on this one, but this is in the Review office,
Yeah.
right in the front door.
Looks familiar.
I remember that painting in the back.
Yeah, well, they collected glass clowns from Italy. Then they collected those fuzzy-headed little monsters,
hmm
and then they collected softball trophies.
These paintings, Kelsey's Furniture sold them, and they had two of them in the office, and one of them was identical to the one we had in our house. The only picture hanging in our house, because my dad built the house, and he wanted nails in his drywall, so that picture was the only picture that ever hung in our house growing up.
You know, I've ran into more people that don't want any nails in the drywall, and actually the easiest thing in the whole world to fix is a drywall hole.
Nail hole is easy. Yeah, I agree.
No names here. I think this Looks like the same kid we had before.
Yeah. Well, the boy does, the beard.
Yeah. I recognize a couple of them here.
Yeah, that's
Mom
Ned
and
Ferguson's daughter.
Lori,
Lori on the front, yeah.
Mrs. McDaniel.
Mrs. McDaniel.
Marguerite McDaniel, Margaret McDaniel.
Marguerite.
No, it was Marguerite. Yeah.
Marguerite, I was right the first time.
Yeah.
She was my grade 6 English teacher.
I told this story. She started my reading. I love to read now, but I never did until the 5th grade. And she came up with a big chart. You put a gold star up for every book you read, and you wrote a report. You either had to write a report or draw a picture about it. And so I'd go down to the library and read all these little yellow books on Babe Ruth and Lou Gehrig, and I'd draw a little picture of them. And I really didn't like reading. I just wanted to get more stars than anybody else.
Well, I have to tell my Marguerite McDaniel story. We studied Langston Hughes poetry in her class, and we had to recite a poem. But you got extra points if you memorize the poem. So I chose my poem 5 minutes before class started, and I'm reading it, trying to memorize it because it's just short poems. And so when I get up to give my poem, I'm having trouble remembering the lines. So there were long pauses in between the lines. And the poem is called A Poem by Langston Hughes. And it goes like this I love my friend. He went away from me. There's nothing more to say. The poem ends soft as it began. I love my friend. And she jumped up, clapped her hands, and said, A plus. She thought they were dramatic pauses.
I did. I recited Ogden Nash's poem called Fleas.
Yeah,
It was like this: Adam had 'em.
yeah. Shortest poem. But yeah, but from that moment, as soon as she clapped her hands and said that, I have never forgotten that poem.
I think we had good. She was 6th grade. I think. Mitch, your mom was 5th grade at the annex.
Yeah, that's right. And Miss McDaniel was there then too.
Yeah.
But, her sons, John and Tom, and then they had a daughter by the name of Ann.
Yes.
And Tom was in our class of 65. And John must have been in about 62 or 3, I think.
I think John was my sister's class 63.
Yeah, that's about right. Yeah.
And
then Ann came along afterwards. I don't remember what year she graduated.
67 or 8, maybe. Yeah. Maybe Doug McCumber's class or the one after that. Tom's death was a shock. I mean,
it was.
Yes.
A massive heart attack or something.
Yeah. He had quite a successful career. Bob knows more about it than I do, but
he was high up in the CAT.
Yes, he was real high up. Yeah. World traveler and a very strong Christian.
Yes,
he had a very successful career.
My Aunt Loretta, who was a cousin to Linda G, I think G was his wife from Arcola.
Yes, that's right.
He showed me a picture of Tom sitting next to President Clinton in Ireland when CAT opened a new plant in Ireland, and Tom was the person in charge of the banquet and sat next to President Clinton. He was very high up, and I think they became quite wealthy.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah.
The girl in the front left, to me, looks a little like the older Melanson girl. I could be wrong though.
Well, I know the girl on the right was, and I can't remember what her name was, but it was Ed and Adriana's daughter, Ferguson.
Yeah, this is Lori Ferguson.
Lori, yeah.
Yeah, she's a year ahead of me in school.
Off east, and I think she got a doctorate in art restoration or art museum kind of degree, and quite advanced. She's very bright. Both their kids were super bright.
Yep.
Humper became a plastic surgeon. I think he's down in Texas.
Yep. And I think that Well, Ned passed away, but I
Yeah,
think Adriana's still living.
I think so. I haven't heard anything about
I
Adriana.
haven't heard anything either. So, but they were down in Texas. That was their last move, was
Yeah,
down
they went
there.
down there with Bumper,
Yeah.
Ted.
I had several basketball pictures, but I haven't got any comments on them, so I'm not sure they're.
Looks like a Boris right there.
Yeah, it
Neil.
does. Maybe Tim. It's not Neil. Although this negative may be older than that. I don't know. But I
Gary's
thought it might
still
be junior high.
Mhm.
Yeah, I don't have any names on any of these. Unless I maybe you guys might know.
No.
not me.
No.
Looks like, oh, there they are.
No. Yep.
Yeah, we know all them. Catherine and Bill and
Catherine
Barb and
Chumber.
Pat Noss.
Pat Noss. It must have been, I think that was during the time that Catherine had a company called Home Real Estate. And I think they were all working for her at the time. It might have been, yeah,
Well,
I'm pretty sure.
I think they could have worked, I think Bill and Catherine worked for the Wills before she broke off and got her own firm. King and
Well,
Will,
yeah, you're right. You're right. It was Will's Realty.
Bill,
And
they
then, right.
were next to our law office over there.
Yeah, yes, it was.
I think those are the three salesmen for Joe
For
and Barb.
Barb. Yeah.
Yeah, she sold my first house for me when I moved to Springfield.
Yeah. Bill became the assessor. There's Jim Edgar, I think,
I think so.
dedicating.
You know who the guy on the right is too.
Yeah, that's the artist from Camargo.
Oh, Duke Lau?
Wow.
Luke Lau.
Looks like the courthouse. Is that the courthouse's supervisor room?
Yeah, yeah, it is.
Is that Edgar?
That's Edgar.
I think it is. Yeah.
And there's a story behind this. This picture is the drawing is of a deer. This is the original. This is not the print.
Mm-hmm.
And Duke gave it to the state. This is the official drawing of the official state animal, and this picture hung in the state capitol. But when they renovated the state capitol, they took it down, and nobody knows where it is anymore. It has disappeared.
I'll be darned.
And
Well, the guy-
and Duke's family is very upset about that.
The guy behind the picture with his back is Dave Bartholomew, the old state's attorney back then.
Yeah.
Big Dave, my assistant.
Yeah. Dave's a good guy.
He was a sweet guy.
Yeah.
And
They,
Duke,
I've got a couple of those Duke Lau prints.
I had
I don't know how I picked them up, but I've got a couple of them, and I enjoy them.
I think I got almost every one. I talked to Duke. I like to draw, and I asked him his philosophy of art because I was, he said he had a simple saying: to analyze is to paralyze. I said, okay. Don't think about it.
I don't think he started drawing till he was like 60 years old.
I didn't have the full set. I probably had 12 of them, I think, 10 or 12. He was unbelievable with a pencil.
Yes, he
Yeah, he
was.
was great. And he would bring his drawings in to the office, and we would shoot the negative for the prints on our machine because he thought it did a better job than the printer he was using. We didn't print them, but we shot the negatives for him. So I got to talk to him quite a bit, and we kind of became pals.
I think Monocle's had almost every one of them on their walls.
They do have all of them.
Yeah, at one time they did. Yeah.
Yeah, they've got all of them. They're artist proofs. But yeah, I think they've got all of them. There they are again.
Jim Edgar, it was he was one of the best governors we've had in a long time.
He kept spending down. I remember Marvin Jones came back to county board one day and people were talking about getting jobs because the Republicans won. He said, Edgar doesn't believe in patronage. Marvin was really mad.
So, I bet.
He was a straight up Boy Scout.
Yeah, he was.
When I interned in Springfield, I lived with a host family, and the guy was a Baptist preacher, so I had to go to church every Sunday, and it was the same church Jim Edgar went to, so his son was in my Sunday school class.
Petty and I
Well,
took Petty and I took political science class at Eastern with him. He always wore if he didn't have a suit and a tie or sports coat and tie, he at least wore a shirt and a tie. He worked at Caven and Bales over there. Petty and I looked like bums sitting over there with blue jeans and stuff, but he was always a really nice guy. He's president of the Senate. You could just tell he was going places. And he
yeah,
did.
he really, he was, he just, I think it really affected, I think the job was extremely hard on his health.
Well, and he was a guy that kept it inside. He didn't get mad,
Mhm.
he didn't yell.
Yeah.
And he had quadruple bypass. I remember one time he bought J.R. North's furniture store.
Jim Thompson.
Jim Thompson. He ran that for a few years.
Yep. Nice guy. Last time I saw him, he was working for Sears in Champaign when they were going. He worked in their appliance division.
I think I saw him up there later.
Yeah. That the second one looks again like maybe Gordy Cross.
Yeah.
It's
be.
Younger. That is, according to Jennifer Bender, that is Doug Kimball.
The second one?
Yeah. I dated his sister in school. Aaron Reinhardt says that's him, next to Cliff McGee on the end, and third one, Darren Davis.
Okay.
Those are all the names I have.
Yeah.
Community building. Go Beachy, and there's some old
Amos.
Tom Bennett.
there's Amos Albritton.
Yep.
Bennett.
Tom Bennett.
Tom Bennett
Yeah.
and Jim Thompson.
Jim Thompson back there in the left.
Yeah.
Where's Tom live now? In Southland Acres or where?
Yeah, as far as I know, I think he's still the same house.
I think that Tom.
Yeah.
I think he's in Villa Grove.
Oh, is he? Okay.
I think. I know his daughter's over there. I thought he was over there close to her.
Yeah, they sold
Could be
that.
wrong.
Sold that brick house. I don't know where he went.
Well, he went from there. He lived out in Southland or in Hillcrest.
Hillcrest, okay.
All right.
Yeah, he was in Hillcrest for a while, and then after his wife died, I don't know. Well, I really don't know what happened to him after that.
I think he's still on Facebook some.
Is he?
Yeah, I'm just looking.
And that's it.
That's it, huh?
A lot of photos.
Yeah, I thought they were fun photos this week.
Yeah.
So
They're always fun. They're always
Yeah.
fun.
yeah. So all right. Anything else before we sign off?
Well, I gotta go take a nap. That strained me.
Yeah. Time is it? Well, it's 1:45. It's almost 2:00.
Almost 2 o'clock. We had so much fun.
Get supper and go to bed.
Yeah, that's right.
It's getting close.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next week on Remembering Tuscola.